Back on Inside Tennessee with my colleague John North and the superintendent of Knox County Schools, Dr. John Rysewyk. Our lightning round here in this third block. Dr. Rysewyk, thanks for bearing with us. Your quick impression when we throw these out at you. I want to start with schools that are taking books off the shelves. We heard a lot of talk about that. Is that something that's happened in Knox County thus far this year?
It's a good question. So this is not new to us in Knox County. For years, we've had a process in place that allows for there to be challenges of the content and exposure so people can see what's in it. We have a process that allows that to happen at the school level for there to be a challenge, and then an appeal up to the district level where we could put a team together to review as well. So the state now putting that into place just becomes part of that process for us. You can imagine in a district with 60,000 students and 91 schools that lots of folks have different opinions, and so we have from time to time had that happen. But there has not necessarily been an increase of that, and it's not something we deal with every day.
Attracting good teachers, how do you do it?
Well, that's great. I mean, I think it's tough. There's no one way to get that done. Our goal is to kind of lock down the borders and secure all of the educational prep providers that produce great teachers for us. But we also know that there's not going to be enough to handle that long term. We've launched a new talent acquisition department in our human resource that's looking for alternative ways to certify people. We really believe there are teachers in Knoxville that are doing something else right now. We want to make sure those alternative certifications make it easy for them to get into classrooms and to teach our students.
A partisan school board for the first time in recent memory, the impact?
Interesting. I think, I think like the fact that we kind of had the nonpartisan, I think it allowed folks to focus on kids and making decisions for that. I think there is some level of trickle down to kind of more national politics or maybe some of the national things that maybe we don't see locally be part of that. But, with that said, I think that in the end, most of the school board folks run to do good things for students and teachers, and I think that's what we got this time as well.
Charter schools, is there room for another in Knox County?
It's interesting because we don't have control over that. We focus on what we do control, and for us, we want to make sure that we're doing a couple things. We're making sure every school is a strong school with high academic and high behavioral expectations. And we understand competition may come, and it's our job to be prepared for that and make sure we're offering families and their students what they need to be successful moving forward.
NIL for high school athletes, what do you think?
I'm sure it's coming. We this year actually added to our district level athletics team behind Brian Brown, who was the former athletic director at Hardin Valley Academy. And those were part of the things that we looked at in that process. How do we look at things like Title IX? How do we look at things like the potential of NIL? And so I think we're looking at a little bit more probably like a college. If TSSAA is the NCAA, we probably needed more of a commissioner-like presence in our athletic side to help our athletic directors at each individual school who do a great job and want to do the right things for kids. But maybe we can help build some policies and procedures to help keep that kind of uniform as things move forward.
The changes to school security this year?
Always been a priority for Knox County. I think it's a bit of a moving target too. We learn Chief Jason Perryard, who has been phenomenal, is very innovative. We continue to reorganize and to deploy new techniques as the technology and as the knowledge is out there. And so we continue to do that, continue to invest at that level. Our board and county commission approved $4.7 million additional dollars for security this year. I will still say the best thing that we can do is have a trained officer in every school because you can't always predict everything that will happen with things like cameras and alarms. But if you have trained people who can lead and make good decisions during those situations, the better. And I'm glad we've made that investment, both an increase in salary and an increase in personnel.
Moving to the TVA Tower East, a good thing, or do you miss the AJ?
Well, the TVA Tower is incredible. I mean, we're thankful that the community and that the mayor and county commission really thought that was where we needed to go. It's a nice, more modern facility for us. It also allows us, we occupy 6 floors now, where before in the Andrew Johnson building, it was a little smaller floors, but taller. We were on about 12 of those floors, so it gives us a better chance to work in a better setting. It also helps us be a great part of downtown. and makes it easy still to get to both mayor's offices and the different kinds of meetings we need to have there. So we see it as definitely a bonus and a blessing.
30 seconds for our final question. The gaps in student performance from minority students to white students, are they closing?
I think that depends on what data you're looking at and in which areas. We have a whole lot of data on those things, and I would say in pockets, we're seeing some good things happen, but it's not enough, and it's not acceptable where we are at this time. So we're going to continue to try to be strategic about that, really focus in on those things. I don't think it's as much a resource as potentially it is a multi-year strategy and cohesion that we need in order to know what we're trying to get to. Sometimes what we see in schools that have a large at-risk population is that there are a lot of competing interests in those schools, and it's part of our job to make sure we work with families to make sure we're saying yes to the right thing so that all students can be successful.
We've got to take another quick break on Inside Tennessee. Back with our final round of questions for Dr. Rysewyk right after this.